got to talk about what is going on with Apple and that $2 trillion valuation. Dan Halley has been watching that closely for us here. So Dan, what has kind of put Apple over the top here? I guess it's just some of the momentum that has been helping the rest of the market.
Yeah, really what's pushed Apple so far past the $1 trillion mark and the $1.5 trillion mark that it hit earlier this year has been its ability to capitalize on its massive user base. They have 1 billion plus users, active iOS users, and those people are what Apple is leaning into to purchase things like wearables, the Apple Watch, the AirPods, the AirPods Pro, and then also sign up for its services like Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, purchasing apps through the App Store and iTunes. I think that's really where we're seeing the growth for Apple, and that's where we're going to continue to see it moving forward. And then, of course, we have a new iPhone coming later this year in the iPhone 12. That'll be the first phone with a 5G, 5G connection, and basically that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to want to upgrade to from 4G LTE, because they'll want the faster downloads, the faster uploads, and then the future capabilities that such connectivity will offer. Remember, we didn't have an Uber with 3G, we got it with 4G. We're expecting similar innovations going forward.
Dan, I'm holding up the AirPods I got last year. Love these things. What's going to happen to Apple, though, with the trade tensions with China and the pressure the Trump administration makes on Apple to move production back to the United States?
Yeah, I think really what's going to happen for Apple there is basically just trying to move to different areas, not necessarily the U.S. I mean, they did, yes, begin manufacturing, or they're beginning to manufacture their Mac, the large desktop in the U.S. again. That's something that they had previously moved to China after having in the U.S. They had moved it out of the U.S. because of production difficulties, but now they're doing it again in the U.S. But I don't see necessarily, something like an iPhone, for instance, having its production set up here in the U.S. It's more likely that it's going to continue to move outside of China. And, don't forget, Apple now is going to stop using Intel chips. They're going to start using their own chips, but those are unlikely to be produced in the U.S. They're going to be using ARM-based chips in the future. So I think really what that signals for Apple is they're going to continue to play the game with Trump going forward, as they have done adeptly. Tim Cook's been great at that so far, and then see how the election shakes out. I think if we have President Biden, then it may be more fortuitous for them as far as the relationship with China goes.
And I know in many ways this 2 trillion milestone is really just a milestone, right? And Dan, I think you may have mentioned that Apple was actually the first US company to reach that $1 trillion milestone. That was almost exactly 2 years ago on August 2nd, 2018. And it was interesting, during that time, one of the big concerns for Apple is one of the same ones that we're facing today around slowing iPhone sales and whether that ecosystem can really buoy Apple sales overall. And that seems to have worked, at least for now.
Yeah, and that's really what they're continuing to lean into, is kind of using a more holistic approach to the company rather than having people focus on one individual component, the iPhone. They're spreading it out. And look, when Apple hit 1 trillion, Microsoft and Amazon were not far behind, right? Now they're both above 1.5 trillion after Apple had hit that. So it's likely that they'll hit the $2 trillion mark in short order as well.